Let's see what's gonna happen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're just gonna get right to it.
And whatever part of the world you in.
Or whatever part of the world you happen to be logging in or on from right now.
And I ain't got no glasses on. You'll tell me what I'm missing, baby.
No, you just got. It never fails. No, it never fails.
What never fails?
That you always.
Wanda Colin.
You can't see, Fred.
Vera Smith.
You look like a squirrel squinting.
I'm gonna get them.
No, where's your glasses, Fred?
They're over there.
Over where?
I'm gonna get them.
Go get your glasses.
How y'all doing?
While y'all are logging in.
While y'all logging in, I'm gonna get my glasses.
Yeah, Fred, you never cease to amaze me. You never cease to amaze me. Fred is getting his glasses. We are getting ready to have a topic. Of course, we have this humorous relationship, but we are going to get it somewhat serious, somewhat. So
yeah.
We need you guys to have a watch party. Would you do that? Can you have a watch party? You do not have to be a couple to be involved in our coupling series. You just have to be a person. There you go.
I can see. Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
That's our language. Can I say, oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
Hey,
Hello,
Canada.
Chanel Bartley is from Canada. How are you? Let us know where you guys are logging in from. Can you do me a favor, babe?
What, sugar?
It never ceases to amaze me because I know your phone is on. One of our phones is on right there. Yeah, you just know what it is. I want to know, Iris, how are you? How's Reggie doing? We would really like to know. What's up, Les? How you doing? Les is on, baby.
What's going on, Les?
Rolanda, a maker. Can you guys do us a favor? Can you please just have a watch party? Mother Cece, how are you? We're getting ready to go into a serious topic called From the Outside In.
From the outside
From
in.
the outside in. Someone said, Vera, you like my glasses? Thank you, because we can't see. We can't see. And so Laura Renee is on here. She says, hey, how you doing? God bless you all. Vera Smalls is on here. We love you. She said, love you both very much. Shell Bailey is on here. Look at Deloria, Michelle.
What's going on, Shell? Y'all hooking that tree up?
You and Eddie, we are so honored to have you guys as our brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. Deborah in Cleveland, Ohio. My cousin says, hey. TT Switch is on here from Palm Beach. Vera Small, she says from Atlanta, Georgia. Alcamar, I already know you from Brick City. What's going on? Charlene McLean is on here. God bless you. Keisha Hunt, how you doing, beautiful? Talia, happy birthday to you, Talia. It's your birthday today. Rufus, we know where you are, Salisbury.
What's going on, Rufus?
God bless you. Now, we're getting ready to have a topic. Tamika Jones, it's good to see you. I'm going to wait for a couple more people and we can get out of here. So we get ready to have 1,000 people. There you go. So now let's get ready to talk. Minister Stefanetta, it's so good to see you, girl. We know where you're from. We get ready to have a serious topic, somewhat, called From the Outside In.
Yeah.
And even though this is a series on coupling, this is very monumental for just about everybody. When I say just about everybody, it's because most people don't understand that you could be fine as an individual. Just like my husband and I are husband and wife. You may be looking and you may not have a significant other. But if you're a person, whose phone was that, Fred?
I just put it on silent.
Whose phone was that, Fred?
Put it on silent. Look, watch. That's your phone.
No, Fred, I guarantee that was your.
Baby, I put it on silent.
What about the other ones?
No, I did.
You did?
Silent, yes, baby.
Oh, by the way, if your husband and your wife don't have the passwords to your phone and can go through your phone, that's a problem. Y'all need to fix that. So like I was saying, there is something called From the Outside In. Mother Darlene, how are you? And no matter if you're in a relationship or not, most people happen to be okay.
Right.
So if you're okay right now, watch how we do this. If you're okay, give a thumbs up. Wendy, God bless you. She's from Delaware. How are you?
That's your phone.
Is that me, baby?
I just powered it on.
Good God today. Can you just hold on for a minute, please? Just a minute. Most of you who are good, that means things are going okay. Corey Page, what's up? That was a good documentary on Prince. You missed it. Just give a thumbs up. If you're okay, that means things are okay.
Right.
Okay. So we got 1,200 people. The UK is on here. God bless you. who's under the sound of our voice. So everyone that's watching, everyone right here who's giving a thumbs up, we're symbolically saying we're okay. In fact, there's some people who are crying.
That's right.
So if you're okay, these are the thumbs up of people who are okay. Now
Good.
watch this.
Good.
It is okay to be okay. That means that things aren't going as great as they could be, but at least they're not as worse as they could.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you, Eddie Shaw, thank you so much, baby. Suppose something happens to disrupt the peace that you have. I don't care what level of peace that you have. You're okay. Have you smiled today? You're okay. If you are breathing, you're okay. But suppose you let something from the outside penetrate you from the inside and disrupt your happy place. Disrupt the level of peace you have. You have no idea how life just can change in an instant.
In an instant. Without you even thinking. You're not even thinking about it.
You catch it, embellish, King.
So, our kids moved back home.
Yeah.
And I think me and my wife, we've been used to being together by ourselves for a long time.
Right. So these were grown kids that had their own apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moved back in.
Moved back in. Went back out of college.
Uh-huh.
Got her degree. Amen.
Uh-huh.
Other son, he came back home for a little while.
Uh-huh.
So everything is changing.
Right.
And now, of course, all you know that, we're still newlyweds.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're going to be newlyweds forever.
We're going to have new love.
Forever.
But we begin to adjust to how things had become to be, right? So in us adjusting, and that's definitely what was in our mind, we're adjusting it the way everything will be, and things are changing because the dynamic had changed. And it kind of just, I don't know how to say it. It just got heavy, not heavy in a good or a bad way. Just you're feeling time in, you're starting to just adjust to everything and what life brings, and it begins to bother, it begins to kind of, I don't want to use words, frustrate intimacy.
Yeah, and it did, but I think that has a lot to do with everybody because COVID has inconvenienced a lot of people and has shifted life as you know it.
Yeah.
And so life as you know it has changed because you now got to watch the kids at home. You got to find a babysitter. If you don't have a babysitter, you've got to shift the way you work. Or everybody's home.
Yeah.
Or life is hard and people got to move back in because they have nowhere to go because of evictions. Things happen right now and life as we know it has changed.
It's changed.
And so now the world that you used to have, you're okay. But now situations and things from the outside have come inside of the circle that you know and has changed your whole perspective in life. Cherie Smith says, yes. Now, watch this. We're going to speak a little bit, and we want you guys to understand that we are pastors.
Right.
But we are real life pastors.
Real life pastors.
We are what you call realists. And so we're going to talk to you from a real perspective.
Yeah.
The real perspective is when my husband said that it changed a level of intimacy. When you are intimate, it does not necessarily mean in the bedroom perspective.
Right.
It means just sitting up watching TV. It means just sitting down reading a book.
Or riding together in the car.
Or riding together in the car.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to just say this. Don't throw me under the bus because y'all throw us under the bus for everything. Well, some of you do.
Some people, not all, not everybody.
I recall when, even if Fred and I are in the bedroom and we're laughing, and we're just laughing, our bedroom is right next to Dylan's room. Our bedroom is next to Dylan's room. And so what happened, and since we have been alone and there's nobody in the house, Gigi, what's up? They laughing at us, Fred. What happened was,
What had happened?
when we would come out of the bedroom where there was silence and nothing, we are met with this posture right here. And she looks at us like she has a gag reflex. So now we have to be very mindful that there's a
3-year-old
23-year-old in the next room. So,
one wall away.
hold on. So now we're running downstairs, and all of a sudden, oh, yo, my bad. The 19-year-old is like, yo, my bad.
My bad.
So now life as we know it, hold on, it gets better. Life as we know it, we go walk another way, and then it's, oh my gosh, something wrong with Charlie. Charlie swallows a vitamin. So now the world that was quiet now has been shifted with all of these things. Rolanda Omega said the kids are hating.
Kids be hating.
So what do you do? No, let's go deeper. What do you do? Like someone else said her mother moved back in.
Ooh.
What do you do where things in COVID has hit your home? And life as you know it has shifted. I spoke to someone today, and she said there's 6 people living in her house.
That's what she said.
Because of COVID. Someone said, Mother Darlene, she says you all have to adjust. So, Mother Darlene says we all have to adjust. Now watch this. Fred and I thought we were adjusting. That's what you said today.
I thought with everything in me, I kept saying the word. That's the only word that was coming to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm adjusting.
Right.
We're adjusting. We're adjusting. We're adjusting. But I don't think we were adjusting properly.
Okay. So when you say adjusting properly, you just thought we could just keep on moving.
I was thinking we just keep on moving and keep moving according to whatever is going on. And even me now being a father and knowing what attention a child needs, even though they're young adults, they still want attention. I kind of pushed away a little bit, and I pushed away a little bit, not because I wanted to push away from my wife, but I wanted to give them
that
space.
Right.
That room. So, me and my wife be cuddled up every day, but I would, because of the change, I said, we give that space. So, and in my mind, we're adjusting. But my wife, and it's crazy because, well, it's not crazy, but when we talked, she was like, you're not touching me. When we finally had a chance to just digest and process the whole thing, she said, well, you wasn't touching me. So it can be one thing in your mind. In your mind, you can say, well, I'm adjusting to the situation for the betterment of the whole family or the betterment of a situation. But we didn't have the conversation about the adjustment. So I'm adjusting on one plane. She's really catching it. Yeah. Because now, my baby, she wasn't trying to adjust.
No. I was like, y'all got too much. This is transition house. I gotta get out. A woman just went up the timeline and she said, my mother is with us now. Les just went up the timeline and he said, my son was blocking this weekend. And I think people have to understand that adjusting is just not what you need in the bedroom. Yeah. Adjusting means that your light bill's gonna go up. Yeah. Adjusting means that the food supply, adjusting means that there are many personalities that are now coming into your space that were from the outside are coming inside. And you guys have got to agree to disagree or get along. You've got to understand that when you have a household and COVID has allowed everybody to come back together again, you have to have those conversations. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
How do we work this out? Because we don't know how long this is going to be for us. But you've got to say, okay, especially grown kids. One young lady I spoke to today said she got somebody 52 and 53 living in her house, 35, 12. I was like, all these people living with you? She said, yeah. So at this point, because you don't know how long this is going to happen or last, you got to say, okay, what can I do?
Right.
What do you do? Like this woman that said she got 6 people in the house. Well, she said, it's all on me. She said, it's all on me because now all these people back in my house because of COVID. So everybody got to get along. What happens when you got people living in your house and the person that moved in got evicted? Or foreclosed on the property? Someone said, man, for real, for real. Someone said, thank you for your teaching, Apostle MJ, thank you. Someone said, my 19-month-old gets the attention from all the parents. Well, the 19 months old is not, So I'm saying to you, there's a level of inside that you've created a peace.
Yeah.
Or created an adjustment. But outside is coming from the outside and they're coming into your space. We don't know how long this is going to last. COVID is now, what, a year now, babe?
Yeah, almost a year.
It's a year now.
Yeah.
And so now I was reading where they're going to have an eviction epidemic.
Yeah, a lot of
So
people.
what do you do? What do you do when your family now says, can I crash with you? Because of what happened. What do you do? Adjustment is real. Someone just went up to the timeline and said, my 32-year-old just came home.
I think the thing, and the reason why we're dealing with this is because we got time away.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize. See, this is the thing about adjusting. This is the thing about coming into that space.
Have a watch party, guys.
You don't know what the adjustment is doing to your intimacy and your relationship,
Right.
and especially if you are have a big family. What can't happen is you can't lose your connection.
Yeah.
In the adjustment.
Right.
We have to adjust.
Right.
We're not in, and we want you to catch this because we're not saying that you don't have to adjust.
Wow.
Yes, you have to adjust, but you don't adjust yourself to the point where you guys are getting space and coming apart or not connecting in the way that you would normally connect. Because as soon as we got here,
Yeah.
it got serious quick, right, babe?
Miss Parker just went up the timeline and she said, y'all all up in my business. And someone else went up the timeline and said, her 40-year-old came back home. And if you don't get the understanding, it will ruin relationships. It will ruin your house. It will, now this is not our case. Suppose you have a disrespectful child that was living on their own. And now they're back in your home being disrespectful. What do you do? One young lady just went on the timeline and she said her daughter moved back in because her lights were turned out. Someone just said, if this is relatable to you right now, just go on and give an angry face. If you can relate to this conversation. One young lady just said her mother is 71 years old and she's moving back in. What happens where you don't want your elderly parents who are living in nursing facilities around people because of this COVID pandemic, and now you want to move them back in your home? Yeah. This is real. So your insight is good, but oh Lord, there's a whole lot of people, Fred.
And you're going to have some conversations. I mean, you really going to have a conversation about it. I see them.
Look at these
There's
folks.
A lot of people crying and angry.
Yeah. It's the outside that comes from the outside to the inside. One person said, what happens if a person has Alzheimer's?
Ooh.
This is real.
And now, and I'm, I don't know if this is their case, but there are things that can come from the outside. Like something like that. Imagine dealing with that.
Hi, Dominican Republic.
As a married couple. Those things can devastate a relationship.
It can, but the understanding, I believe that someone just went up this timeline and said, I want my freedom back. I think for me, I think that with all the Bible even says, with all I get understanding.
Yep.
And we have to get an understanding about respecting space. We just decided we going back to give them a culture shock. We ain't turning down we ain't turning up no TVs. We ain't gonna wait for them to go to sleep. We ain't got, someone said, oh my gosh, I love you too, Shatanya Williams. We ain't turning down we are not waiting for them to go. They grown, okay? We's married, you're in our house. And so I think sometimes you have to get an understanding. What do you do, babe, when you have the pandemic like it is, and then you have, just like you have a lot of single women who are on here, single women that have children. What do you do when their sons is coming back and they grown, and these Negroes is grown, and they got girlfriends, and the girlfriend wants to come over, and he wants to entertain his girlfriend in your house, and he don't have a place to stay now, and they moved to your house. Or like the lady said, her 24-year-old keep sneaking her boyfriend in the house because now she home from college. What do you do then?
Yeah.
Fred?
First of all, you can come back home, but your girlfriend can't come.
But if they're home from college, babe, these kids are not. Remember.
Right, but I'm saying what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
They got to go to they ain't paying that. They got to go somewhere.
Well, that's true.
So if now you come home, and then even when the son coming home, you got to come home with some good understanding of how this is finna work.
Oh,
what
this
somebody
lady
said.
Hey, Sarah Smiles, how you doing? How's my girl? Okay, listen. Someone just went up the timeline, and this woman said, "I wish I could snatch her comment down so I could read her name. My marriage is now recovering because of my whole family had to move in our house due to this pandemic." What? Someone said hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
What?
If your girl start acting
We
up.
ain't singing that part.
Well, you know what I'm saying. What do you do? Suppose a mother-in-law that's trifling as all get out is about to lose her place because of the pandemic. Do you let her move in your house? Because of the pandemic.
I mean, when it comes to family, you have no choice.
No. Hold on now, player. Hey,
on.
Trinidad, wait a minute. Because me and Mother Adele, I love her. We fine. But I'm not talking about like me and Mommy Adele. I'm talking about mothers-in-laws who are trifling. Can't stand the daughter-in-law, can't stand her, or can't.
But that's a disrespectful situation.
Wait a minute, but she ain't got nowhere to go. And she tells her son, I lost my place because of COVID and I lost my job. I got to move in with your trifling a wife.
Ain't gonna work because you can't disrespect. You
can't have
listen, first of all, being the man, two women is not finna stay in the same house.
Okay.
Long. Period. It ain't gonna work.
Okay.
So the first thing you have to do is get an understanding, because then there gonna be some situations that just it's not gonna work. And sometimes we try to make stuff work that ends up tearing up your relationship, end up tearing up your, whether that be marriage, whether that be fiance, whatever you got, it ends up tearing it up because you put two people in a confined space where you already know that it is not going to end well.
Right. Someone said, and I see her comment. She said, hell no, I tried that already. That's what she said. What do you do? Because these are things that people really have to consider during COVID. What happens where the outside comes inside and ruin your space because of this pandemic? Okay, so let me ask you another one. What happens when two grown women can't stay in the same house, period? That's true. What happened, thank you, Wanda, 24 Karat Black. What happens when they lose jobs? And now you've got to split the finances to help somebody, to help your sister, to help your brother, to help family members because of this pandemic. We're going on a year now. And then they're talking about shutting down again for 46 weeks. There are people who are not going to recover from this, unfortunately. What do you do? We know God does all things, but I'm saying, why is it? Because, you know, other cultures, they will stay in a space. A few people will work, and they will put their finances together to get each individual on their feet. Why can't that work with the African American community? Someone said this is real talk. Why can't that work? We need you to click tag and share.
Yeah.
Why? I'm asking you, Fred.
You ask me why can't it?
Yeah, why can't it work?
I don't think it worked because people don't have the right mindsets. A lot of people are not in. They didn't come in it like that. They're gonna come in with their own reasons, their own agendas, and they're gonna lead with it.
Right.
It's just the mentality.
Okay. So someone said it's a tough situation. I think it's a tough situation because you have to get an understanding. I think that people do what they want to do. It's just like you have people who borrow money from you and they know that they don't need the money. They just want to go buy something and they want to use your finances to do it. And I think once you see behavior that is unfortunately frivolous financially, or you see them with their priorities not in order, just like I posted down below, that a woman can go and buy her boyfriend a PS5, but yet still her child doesn't have good Wi-Fi or a laptop computer to finish school. I think you've got to watch people's priorities. And if their priorities are not in order, what makes you think when you get in my house you're going to have them in order? And I think people have to have this understanding.
And
so,
you have to line all of those priorities with people coming in. You have to get that stuff straight at the door. Unfortunately, in most cases, those things are not straight at the door. So it's not until you in it. It's like the lady was saying, their marriage is recovering from people coming to stay with them, which is kind of what I want to bring it back to. Because, okay, babe.
I'm sorry.
Just go ahead.
No, I'm just laughing at this.
What did she say?
Somebody's comment of the time. She said, get one of them little houses.
What she say, what?
She said, get one of them little houses from Lowe's. And put it in the backyard.
Don't do that.
And put your mother-in-law in it. And she said, run a line from your... That's really not a bad idea.
That's not a good idea. That definitely ain't gonna work.
I love it. She said, get one of them little houses from Lowe's and put it in the backyard and run a power line from your house.
Well, that's actually how they do that. Actually, that's actually what people.
Well,
do.
I'm telling you, it might work. I think people got to get. I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, but I think people got to get creative. People have to get creative in this COVID season. They do. They have to get creative because, unfortunately, this has been going on for a year now, and it's clear the government doesn't have an answer. So God said He'll give you the power, and so let Him give you the power to get wealth in the situation because it has to start with a bright idea.
It does.
You know, I think that sometimes, depending on the age of the children, and I'm going to get serious again. I think depending on the ages of the children.
We're so crazy.
Ain't I? I'm laughing because it sounds like something.
Because she want to keep laughing. I'm telling you right now.
I love to laugh.
That thing done burnt her up.
Yeah, I love to laugh. You know, that's medicine right there. Thanks for that. I think people have to really get very creative with this whole pandemic. I think if you are going to have people move in, depending on your circumstances, you have to give them a deadline.
You got to have a plan.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan.
You got to get a deadline. The deadline could be like, I'll give you 60 days. I even remember I had a girlfriend and she was going through something. And I let her move in with me. This was years ago. And she was going to work. And I said, don't pay me rent. Don't pay nothing. Don't pay a bill. Don't pay rent. Don't pay for food. I got everything. Because I've always been very stable with, you know. And I said to her, just save your money and get on your feet. And I made her sign a contract. I did. I said, every dime that you make, I promise you, just save it and get on your feet. And she did it. I gave her 6 months. She didn't have to pay one thing at all. And in 6 months, she had enough to get on her feet and she was on her own. And I think you just got to be creative like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to put it up front.
Yeah, up front. That this is not, like even for us with the kids, this ain't home. This is a transitional house.
Yeah. So, but I want to ask, because one thing that the reason why this coupling, or one thing that comes to me with this is last night me and you begin to say, I miss you.
We did.
But we didn't know.
Yeah.
That we were missing one another.
Right.
That's why I kind of want to bring this for the couples just for a minute. I know we want everybody to get something out of this. But we want to speak on the importance of knowing what adjustment is doing We want to bring an importance to how do you keep that intimacy tight? Because I'm going to tell you something. Until me and my wife, when we start talking, just conversating, we saw that, man.
Yeah.
It's like we were together every day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it felt different, and it felt different because we were together every day, but we hadn't had that intimacy and that oneness and that closeness. And this is one of the things that we're talking about tonight, because you have to still. These are our kids.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period. This is family. Point blank. Period. This is, and then all of the other things that come with it. But you have to make your time important enough so that you don't lose time with one another. That means that every day from this point forward, because of what we experience, I have to look deeper into our time together and make sure that I'm connecting.
I think that a lot of things that people don't realize too is that mentally it could be a bit overwhelming. And when I'm going to speak for myself,
Go ahead, baby.
When we look at the people that come inside from the outside inside, we look at how we have to kind of divvy up our time.
Yes.
Divvy up our mental thought, because we're thinking, how do we help them? How do we get this in order? It's like you take your mind. I always say, piece your piece.
Yeah.
That means don't take piece and conglomerately put it all together. Take a little bit and put it to where it needs to be to work it out so you can maintain your peace.
Right.
And so when you think about the kids that came in, or your mother-in-law, or what's happening during this pandemic, you take a little bit of yourself, not all of you, and you say, I'm going to apply it so that area can be okay, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And when you do that, you got to be careful, because you would take away from the area that you need for your own personal peace. And so even though Fred and I, husband and wife, we enjoy each other and we like each other, but we were so busy trying to handle everything around us until we let go a little bit of self-efficacy we needed for our own marriage. And that's where you got to be careful, because if you don't take heed to it, it will get out of control.
Yeah, because intimacy is tailor-made. The one thing that we talked about.
Oh, wait a minute. Someone's on here talking about they got Cash App, that they'll pay your bills. Block them. Don't pay them any mind. Those are people from different countries trying
Honduras,
to scam you.
China.
Don't just, I'm going to block them when this is over. Don't pay them no mind. They're lying. So go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
But one thing, intimacy is tailor-made. And it's one thing that I told, my wife.
Yeah.
She has brought me another level of affection.
Yeah.
Intimacy. I don't think I've never been as affectionate, but she taught it to me. Men, I need you to listen to this. So she taught me or told me what she needed. She expressed to me what she needed. Some things what she would say, some things it would be what she would do, but she expressed to me and showed me what she needed as far as affection and attention. And I begin to do it.
Right.
And I begin to do it. And I begin to do it. And all of a sudden, anything that you do for a long period of time, it becomes a habit.
Right.
After it becomes a habit, it becomes part of your nature. And that's what happened over time. And we begin to let that break. And then I would say to her, I need you to touch me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was something that we formed it. It was something that we created. And we want to tell you that, first of all, if it's been broken, you can get it back.
Yeah.
But it's tailor-made. Your intimacy is tailor-made. So we're saying, you might have all those people in there right now. You may have some of those situations that might be going on right now. But you can fix those situations, and it doesn't have to be one like the young lady that said we're coming up the line. She said they had people inside their house, and she said their marriage is just now to recovering from having people in their house. And what we're saying is, sometimes you ain't gonna be able to wait till people move out.
No, you can't.
Like my wife was talking about, we got emergency situations going on. They talking about COVID for 4 more months. We just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So what we have to do now is be more attentive.
Yeah.
And creative,
Yeah.
attentive towards one another,
Yeah.
and more creative That in whatever space and whatever time we is, we're not letting whatever that was happen because it was crazy. Now, being the man that I am, I'm a family man to the heart. I'm thinking that I'm doing the right thing. And it wasn't like I was doing the wrong thing, but I just let too much adjust away from what me and my wife is creating.
Right. I think you have to be very mindful of the outside. The outside coming inside of what you created. I think a lot of times people feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmingness is just what it is.
Right.
At times that's just part of life. But I think during this COVID pandemic, you have to be very mindful because what happens is you're already overwhelmed. You're trying to figure it out. I want you to have a watch party and stay with us. We're trying to figure it out. What do we do? How do we? And God knows most parents are stuck trying to figure out math, algebra, or whatever it is that they're doing. You're trying to figure out how to fix the Wi-Fi, how to download things. You've got to your whole world is changing.
Right.
And now you've got to be very mindful of the little piece you created. Something coming in on top of what you already are dealing with, creating a spirit of overwhelmingness that you may not be able to handle. And that's why you have people who are drinking more. You have people who are addicted to marijuana more. Domestic violence is on an all-time high. You've got things, people can't sleep. People are picking up weight. You got COVID weight, losing weight. Whatever it is that you're binge eating, you're stressed out because it's so many things from the outside that's coming inside of what you already have a problem with. And you've got to be very mindful of that.
Yeah.
Even though, and there's people that's getting so paranoid, even with breathing, if you're coughing, if you're sneezing, if you have a flu, if you have a cold, whatever it is, people are paranoid. 6 feet social distances, people coming in. You know, we just had the holidays and people are like, okay, well, what did you bring to my house? And it's crazy. And so your house could be fine. And your house is fine. It's when the people from the outside come inside and disrupt what you're trying to do.
That's right.
And that's what we're saying. It's from the outside that comes inside to disrupt what you're trying to do. And so we want you to do yourself a favor. I want you to take a moment. I want you to put on a mask. And if you have not gone outside, just go to the park. Go to the park. We were not created to be locked up. I get it. But go to the park. Put on a mask and just go to the park and just breathe a little bit and come back and clear your mind and say, listen, if you got people living in your house, listen, you can only stay here for a certain amount of time. If you have grown children, remember, they're kids that were supposed to go back to college. They're not going back to college. And they're kids that were in college that could not go home for holidays, but they're letting them come home for Christmas and they're not coming back. So this is the new norm. You have kids that are now going to school. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm worried about my kids going to school. You got so much going on. Let's take a mental health check. Is everybody okay? Now, we're going to do that. We're going to take a mental health check. Is everybody okay? If you are, just go ahead and give a smiley face if you're okay. Mental health check time. If you're not and you're crying, I need you to take a moment. And I need you to breathe and make a list and say, these are the things that I've got to master so that I will not lose my mind during this pandemic. If they're living with you, okay, how long do you need? Okay, okay, so everybody, okay, good. This is good, Fred. Everybody's good. A few people aren't, but you're going to be okay. Now watch this. If you have grown kids living with you like we do, our job as parents is to get them on their feet.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is, we took a moment, we stepped away, we're breathing, and we're getting back on the drawing board. You've got to get them to the place where they're going to be okay. If they're working, I'm telling you, this may work. Tell them that you are expecting a certain amount of money from them with each paycheck. What you're going to do, you're going to go get like a little safe with a little lock. You're going to put that money inside of that little safe. You're going to put a first month's rent, first month security in it for them. And you're going to tell them, I'll save it for you so you can move. Now, don't spend their money. Don't spend their money. Don't spend their money, because if you spend their money, they're going to be there longer. Let them see it. I still got it. It's still in my account.
It's still in my account.
It's still in my account. and get them on their feet so that they can move.
Yeah.
If they're able, that means the grown kids. But do not enable them, because they will be more of a headache than what you bargained for. All right?
That's right.
So remember, it's from the outside that's coming inside to disrupt what you're trying to do. It's COVID. It's hard. I get it. But we all are going to be okay.
Take
all
that
right?
time, like my wife said, if you're single,
If you're single.
take that time, put on your mask, and
Yeah.
take a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're married, you could do the same thing.
Right.
But the main thing you need to do is take that time and get away.
Yeah. All right? All right, we're going to get us something to eat.
All right. You don't get paper.
Did
Did y'all see us rocking? Did you? Say it again. Is that chicken? Waffles? No.
I have a love language for Fred. Only he understands it. All right, guys.
Okay, we love you guys. See you in the morning, 7:30.
Yep, I'll be there. Bye.
Bye-bye.